Mah! Word on the street is you dig two-player card games. Well, have I got a tiny package for you? Tonight, rolling with the band, we're reviewing District Noir. This is District Noir. Noir. Anyways, inside this tiny little box is a fantastic two-player game oozing with theme. Actually, there's like no theme to this game whatsoever. However, it is a fantastic two-player game. And look at that. That is just so aesthetically pleasing, this cover. Anyways, let's get to the game. District Noir is kind of a hand management, card drafting, push your luck game for two players. Anyways, the setup is quite simple. You just take the cards, you shuffle them, and deal 5 to each player. Well, that's only 4. Counting numbers. And then you flip 2 cards face up. So to begin the game, deal out these cards here. So apparently one player is playing as the newsboy, and then the other player is playing as the neighborhood watch guy or something. Anyways, you flip the coin. Whoa. So then you flip the coin to determine who goes first, and it's the newsboys. They go first. They would begin by taking their first turn, and the first player token passes back and forth at the beginning of each of the 4 rounds that the game takes place. And now, during their turns, players will do one of 2 actions. They will either add a card to this row here, and players don't replenish their hands. The game takes place over 4 rounds. So every 4 rounds, each player will take 6 turns. Note you have 5 cards, so 5 of your turns will be playing a card to this row, this display, this tableau of cards between the 2 players, and their 6th action that they may trigger instead of adding a card to here is scooping up cards. So a player on their turn may just add a card to the tableau. Then the other player may add a card to the tableau, and then this card may add a card to the tableau, then the other player may add a card to the tableau, and then this player might decide to scoop. So instead of adding a card to the display here, they would take the 5 cards furthest from the deck. So I may choose to scoop and get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 cards. Now I put them in front of me in a nice little display here. So everyone at the table, and by everyone I mean you and your rival, put these cards in front of them. And now players are trying to collect the most of each number. The cards come in the flavors of 5, 6, 7, and 8. There's 5 5s, which if you have the majority of the 5s, you get 5 points. The 6s, there's 6 of those cards. If you have the majority of the 6s, you gain 6 points. And the 7s, you know where this is going. So you want to get the majority of each one, and you also get a bonus 5 points for each complete set of 5, 6, 7, and 8 that you have. Now, you notice there are some of these plus cards, the green ones. Those are dope because they just give you straight points. Now, there's the opposite side of the spectrum, these less than desirable red cards that cost you points. So those are never good. Now, once I have chosen to collect cards for my turn, now my next 3 turns, I have no options but to lay these cards down each turn. So you gotta make sure that you don't pull the trigger prematurely on drafting those cards. But also, sometimes you may want to sweeten the pot a little bit to maybe entice your rival to maybe doing a premature scoopage on their turn, forcing them to give you some good cards. But you never know what the other player has in their hand, especially since during setup you do remove 3 cards from the game. So you never know exactly what is in the deck. Now, I failed to mention there are 3 of these location tiles here. And should a player ever collect all 3 of those, they automatically win the game. So there's always that threat. I have never actually seen anyone win the game by collecting all 3 of those, but just knowing that the threat is there kind of keeps both players on their toes. So in short, the game is 4 rounds. Play cards in your turn, wait until the right time to scoop up 5 cards, add them to your tableau, have the most of each of the numbers, and maybe collect some sets and get some awesome green pointy boys on your way. Avoid the red ones, and that is District Noir in a nutshell. Alright, so I just want to get this out of the way. There is really no theme at all to this game. But, however, despite that, I adore this game. This is such a great, quick, light, 2-player, push your luck sword fight. It is fantastic. I love the aesthetics of it. It's easy to teach. It's super fast. Like, you can sit down and play it probably with the teach in under 15 minutes. The components are amazing. The cards, they are a fantastic quality. They're a little oversized. I'm not quite sure if they're quite Toro size, nice linen finish. They shuffle great. And the larger size really showcases the fantastic art that's on them. Even though, you kind of spend majority of the time just looking at the numbers, but there's still big art that is really eye-catching on them. The box is a great size too. It's not overly large, but I can, from a retail perspective, it is just a large enough size to catch someone's attention, which is actually what happened to me. I saw this box on the shelf at my local game store and thought to myself, get that looks awesome. The little chip or token that keeps track of who the start player is, that is very nice. It's unnecessary, but it's got a nice weight. It's a nice chunky plastic token, chip, whatever you want to call it. This is one of my favorite quick two-player games. It is such an interesting two-player sword fight, and you're kind of you can almost bluff during this game without even really saying anything, just by the cards that you're playing. You may want to start sweetening the pot, and see your other player looking at the game state. He's like, man, he just dropped 2 5s down there. That's all I need is one more 5 to guarantee 5 points. Maybe he's got some 7s or 8s in his hand to come out. Maybe he's trying to get me to scoop up the 5 cards too early. Anyway, there's a lot of low-key bluffing in this game that can occur. You can also table talk while you're playing it and just make the game an absolute hoot. But it is kind of intense. It is a lot of fun. It's quick. And with those 3 cards, I think they're like location cards, and if you collect all 3 of those, you automatically win. I've never seen anyone actually win that way. However, just knowing that is a possibility, just the threat of that makes the game much more interesting. So really knowing when to pull the trigger on scooping those cards is the key to victory in this game, along with, knowing kind of how to maybe manipulate your opponent into getting them to scoop when you want them to scoop. Save some of those big cards in your hand. It's a lot of fun. It is a really good 2-player game. Like I said, you can pull it out, play it in probably under 10 minutes with the teach. Anyways, definitely a fantastic game. Definitely staying in the Beards collection. And if you found this episode entertaining or informative at all, please consider clicking that subscribe button. And thanks for watching another episode of Rolling with the Beard.